Alright, let's be real. Apple just dropped the Apple Watch Series 11, and a lot of you are probably asking the big question, should I upgrade if I already own the Series 10? Well, today we're diving into everything new, everything that stayed the same, and ultimately, whether spending that extra cash makes sense. So let's find out. So first things first, the design. The Series 10 already felt like a redesign when it launched in 2024. It was thinner, lighter, and introduced those bigger 42mm and 46mm displays. Honestly, Apple nailed that form factor. It looked sleek, modern, and premium. Now with the Series 11, Apple didn't flip the table with another big redesign. Instead, it refined what was already there. The Series 11 is technically Apple's thinnest watch yet, and you still get the aluminum and titanium options. But here's the kicker. Apple added 7 finishes, including some new titanium shades that make the watch look more high-end. Durability also took a step up. Series 11 introduces a new ION-X glass with a ceramic coating that's about twice as scratch-resistant compared to the Series 10. That's a real difference if you're like me and occasionally smack your watch against a desk or gym equipment. So design-wise, if you're on a Series 10, the Series 11 isn't going to look dramatically different on your wrist, but it is tougher and a little sleeker. Both watches have those large, bright OLED displays. The Series 10 introduced wide-angle OLED for better viewing, and the Series 11 keeps that going. They're sharp, bright, and beautiful. No major leap here, but if you skipped Series 10 and are coming from Series 9 or earlier, the jump to Series 11 will feel massive in terms of display size and brightness. Here's where things get spicy. The Series 10 ran on the S10 chip, which was basically a slightly tuned version of the S9. Fast, efficient, but nothing groundbreaking. Series 11, though, is where Apple dropped the big bomb, 5G support. Yep, it's the first Apple Watch that can actually connect to 5G networks. What does that mean for you? Faster downloads, more stable connections when you're away from your iPhone, and overall smoother performance for things like streaming music, downloading apps, or even FaceTime audio calls on the go. If you're the type who actually uses cellular on your watch, this is a huge upgrade. If you're not, then honestly, the S10 chip on the Series 10 is still plenty fast. Both watches give you the same baseline, around 18 to 24 hours of use on a single charge. But the Series 11 stretches things further with up to 38 hours in low power mode, and adds a really useful quick charge perk. Just 15 minutes on the charger can get you up to 8 hours of use. The Series 10 wasn't bad. It already had fast charging and could hit about 80% in 30 minutes. But the Series 11 clearly wins here for people who constantly forget to charge before bed or workouts. This is where Apple continues to separate itself from other smartwatches. The Series 10 already had a strong lineup: ECG, blood oxygen monitoring, the new Vitals app, sleep apnea detection pending approvals, and even water depth sensors for swimmers. For most people, that was already more health tracking than they'd ever need. The Series 11 takes it one step further. Apple added hypertension notifications, basically blood pressure trend detection. It doesn't give you exact numbers like a cuff, but it monitors patterns over time and alerts you if it thinks you're trending toward high blood pressure. That's FDA approved, by the way, which is a big deal. On top of that, you get a sleep score, which rates your sleep quality based on duration and sleep stages. Series 10 users will also get sleep score with watchOS 26, but the hypertension alerts are exclusive to Series 11 hardware. So if health is your priority, Series 11 wins, no question. Both Series 10 and Series 11 run watchOS 26, so you're getting most of the same software features. That includes Double Tap, Live Activities, Smart Stack, and more. But the Series 11 gets a new wrist flick gesture. You can literally flip your wrist to silence calls or dismiss notifications. It sounds small, but it's one of those quality of life upgrades you'll find yourself using all the time. So gestures, Series 11 edges ahead again. The Series 10 was already excellent for fitness tracking. You had all the core workouts, cycling features, dive metrics, and integration with Fitness Plus. For most people, that was already more fitness tracking than they'd ever need. The Series 11 builds on this, with Workout Buddy, which uses Apple Intelligence on your iPhone to give AI-driven coaching during workouts. Think of it like having a personal trainer who adjusts your sessions based on your performance in real time. That's exclusive to Series 11, though it requires pairing with an iPhone 16 or newer for the AI features. So for athletes or anyone serious about training, that's a pretty strong incentive. Let's talk money. The Series 10 launched at $399 for the base aluminum model, and the Series 11 also starts at $399. In other words, Apple didn't raise the entry price. But if you want cellular or titanium, the cost obviously goes up. So the real question is value. If you already own a Series 10, the Series 11 brings better durability, 5G, hypertension alerts, and small but meaningful gesture improvements. Are those enough to justify upgrading after just 1 year? For most people, probably not. But if you're coming from Series 8, 9, or anything older, then Series 11 is a no-brainer. The combo of big display, slim design, new health features, and 5G makes it a massive jump forward. So, should you upgrade from the Series 10 to the Series 11? If you're on Series 10, the improvements are nice, but not game-changing. Unless you absolutely need 5G or care about the hypertension feature, you can hold off another year. If you're on Series 9 or earlier, the Series 11 is the best Apple Watch yet. Thinner, tougher, more connected, and smarter about your health. It's the upgrade worth making. At the end of the day, Apple played it safe with the Series 11, refining rather than reinventing. But those refinements, stronger glass, faster charging, 5G, and smarter health alerts make it the most complete smartwatch on the market right now. So that's the Apple Watch Series 11 versus the Series 10. What do you think? Worth the jump, or are you sticking with your current watch for another year? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tech comparisons coming your way.